All right, fellas. We got two different propane torches here. And I'm going to try to demonstrate how a gas-type propane torch loses bottle pressure after a while, and you lose a lot of power out of the flame. What we have right here is a liquid propane burner. Kind of just a first draft. Certainly not the ideal configuration. I had to do it as cheap as possible with the parts that I had. We had like a $200 cap on that. So, all right, fellas, I'm just going to give you the brass tacks up front. So, not only can this thing run at full power almost indefinitely because it's a liquid propane burner, but the total power output far outperforms the standard store-bought torch. We were able to bring the test artifact to incandescent temperatures, which in the dark starts around 750 Fahrenheit. As you can see here, that red hot glowing section on the burner itself is part of the vaporization coil. Now on the bottom right, we have the standard store-bought burner. And over time, the bottle loses pressure, especially in cold weather, to a point where you're down to 25% of the total rated power output. In the upper left-hand corner, we have the Excalibur liquid propane burner. As you can see, the wind is blowing like crazy out there. You can kind of see the leaves in the background blowing around, and the flames are just getting knocked all over the place. So this is not an ideal condition to heat a piece of steel. But in the real world, we're not always blessed with the perfect conditions, so might as well test it in the worst. And what we're going to find out here, if you fast forward to the 3-minute and 40-second mark, you will see that the Excalibur has already brought the piece of I-beam up to incandescent temperatures on the corner there. The bottom lower hand torch, I'm not sure what the rated power is for that. I believe it says 500,000 BTUs. I have not tested the power output for the Excalibur just yet. I'm not sure I like the way the plumbing's configured, so I haven't got that far in the testing. But one thing I can tell you is just by the way it sounds, you can tell it's got a lot more power than the regular. The person this is going to uses it, I believe, for like parking lot work, for sealer and stuff like that. I'm not sure 100%. That was what I gathered. And what I was trying to show you guys in this video is that after about 10 minutes of running one of these torches on a bottle, the propane boils so much that you actually get a frost layer on the outside of the propane bottle, and you're down to like 20 psi's in the tank. With the Excalibur, that doesn't happen because we have inverted the bottle. We've tipped the bottle upside down on the burner in the upper left-hand corner that you're seeing here. And because we've tipped that upside down, we are burning liquid propane. I was actually wrong. We're already getting red hot temperatures at the 2-minute or 3-minute mark. So it was a little bit quicker than I thought. But anyway, sorry to get off track there. We are burning liquid propane in the upper left and gaseous propane in the lower right. One of these torches is going to lose significant power towards the end of the runoff. The burner up in the top hand left is able to get the entire top plate of this section of 10-inch I-beam completely red hot. At no point can the torch on the bottom achieve this feat. It just can't do it. It doesn't have the power. It's too windy outside. Even when I change up heating techniques, I couldn't even get the corner red hot. So it's something else is going on here as far as, you know, we're turbocharging this thing for sure. A guy once told me that when you get propane gas hot, that it cracks the gas molecule into lighter gases like methane that burn hotter. So I wonder if that's what's happening here. If any of you guys have any input onto the thermal cracking of propane and the consequences thereof. This guy told me this torch could reach 3,500 degrees on propane because it cracked the gas. This was just an obscure comment, but you know, some of my viewers are very intellectually gifted individuals, and I usually put a little bit of weight into what they say. He may have just been babbling, but I haven't looked into it. And I intend to after this video, because as we can see, this torch on the top is definitely burning hotter. The spud is actually smaller than what you're finding on some of this equipment that you buy in the stores. I believe, I'll have to double check, but I think I'm running a 2mm spud. And they're running a little bit bigger, like a 1/16 of an inch on some of these burners you buy in the store. Well, I don't know what's going on here in the bottom right. Apparently, oh, I'm testing the flame length. See how the flame length has drastically decreased? We were going that full 4-foot length when we started this. You can barely see in the upper right-hand corner. I was testing the flame length of the store-bought torch, and it appears that we have lost 50% of our output power based on the length of that flame. It's a good 3.5, 4-foot flame when that bottle's got high pressure. I made kind of a measurement scale, but it's just so damn windy out here, it's not doing us any justice. The whole test is a botch, but like I said, I wanted to see if I could get this piece of metal red hot in the worst of conditions, and the Excalibur was definitely able to pull it off. Damn, my mouth hurts. Now I see why announcers got a buddy sitting to the side of them to tag team out every once in a while. When you run your japs like this for this long, it really starts to stress the vocals. I feel like Ozzy Osbourne or something. Need a drink of water. So, if you just sat there and listened to me babble that entire time, I completely apologize for wasting your life away. I hope you're building the most amazing torch ever and you need this advice, and this ain't just entertainment. But nonetheless, if you are just being entertained, at least you're not watching the bull crap they got flooding people's heads on TikTok these days. And I don't know what else we're going to see here. We got one torch getting a piece of metal hot and the other won't. I don't know what I'm doing here at this point in my life. I'm going to shut up. It's obvious the torch on the bottom ain't going to pull it off, guys. I mean, no matter what. I was hoping that the torch on the bottom would just lose power so much that it was just plainly clear that what I was talking about happens, but I didn't run it long enough. It takes like 10 minutes, and we only run 8. All right, so it's too windy to do a flame comparison and a bottle burn-off test, so I'm going to wait for a day that it ain't so windy to do that. But for the most part, this is where we are. We got pretty formidable foe here. This thing ain't joking around. It's definitely ready for the streets. Okay, so at the end of the day, I don't care for the plumbing configuration on the Excalibur. I think I'm going to redo the way this thing is plumbed. I don't like the handle. Having to hold that handle, it gets old. It'd be so much more convenient if it just had a knob that turned it on. These things are okay, but when you're out on the job site, they suck. They really do. It's more convenient to have something you can just turn the flame on and leave it on there. That's what I found. Because when you're working out in high winds, if you take your hand off that trigger, the flame blows out. You got to light it again, and it doesn't want to light in the high winds. So having a knob that just lets you turn on the flame and leave it is great. It's not that big of a hassle to turn off a valve. The knobs, yeah, they kind of suck, but I'm going to put a small ball valve on there so you don't have to turn it. You just flip it on and off. It's going to be so much more convenient. And also, the vaporization coil works so well that this tube right here can get a little warm to the touch, and I don't like that. So I think I'm going to replumb this thing before I ship it. And also, in the next video, we're going to see where I've redesigned this burner because it kind of sucks. And I've got some moves that can make it so much better. So we're going to take a look at that as also in the next video. We'll do a flame comparison maybe somehow. I've got another one of these torches somewhere. But it's just too windy to do any testing other than endurance testing in the wind.